Each spark was said to represent a pig or calf to be born in the spring. Also dragged inside were evergreens, the one plant that could make it through a Norse winter. Evergreens proved that life persisted in this dark time.
There's a natural attraction to that which lives through the winter when one is struggling to survive through the winter. The evergreen is that part of nature that seems in the coming of winter and the diminishing of the sun. So it's an absolutely natural thing, one which I think we react to almost without thinking about.
For as long as the Yule log burned, about 12 days, feasting and revelry reigned supreme. In fact, this was one of the few times that meat was abundant, since cattle had just been slaughtered for the long winter.
It's a necessity to kill most of the cattle, because you can't keep them alive over the winter. There's nothing to feed them on. You keep a few alive for breeding. But there is an opportunity for a great blowout, for a great feast, time to party.
The party raged inside in defiance of winter's deadly howl.
There is a spooky feeling about the autumn Yuletide festivals. You may be all right there in the hall with the blazing fires, but outside there are demons, there are spirits.
In Germany, the pagan god Odin lent his name to this midwinter holiday. Early Germans were terrified of Odin, whose nocturnal flights decided who would prosper or perish in the coming year. Later, we'd see another Christmas sky rider, Santa Claus. But for now, staying inside became the smartest choice at this frightening time of the year. A 1,000 miles away in Rome, winter was less harrowing, but the December festivals were just as elaborate. 1 week before the winter solstice, Romans began celebrating Saturnalia, a month-long orgy of food and drink. Named for the god Saturn, which meant plenty, Rome's established order was turned on its head during this wild, delirious time.
The Saturnalia celebrations were certainly times of revelry, of turning the social order upside down. The slave and the slave pretended to be the master, sort of a time out of time in which one could celebrate a kind of disorder in the universe.
One of the holiday's important feasts was Juvenalia, which celebrated the children of Rome.
Although these early festivals
I think that's where my name came from, man.
About children, particularly, what they are about. But, children did have that particular place. The indulgence of children, of course, is very much a part of our memory festivals. But it did have its place even in these ribald, token festivals of the Roman Church.
Among the upper classes in Rome, solstice celebrations were significantly more sober. Many influential Romans worshipped
What?
Mithra was the holiest day of the year.
December 12th.
Ah, this is annoying, man.
In that part of the world. And it was also understood to be the birthday of the sun god, Mithra.
I died.
And Mithra was said to be born from
The most pathetic. I didn't know he teleport me. I thought it was gonna drop down, like, but teleport me in front of this guy. Shot me twice.
I'm sorry that you died.
And many of those
Sorry.
Christian tradition.
While Romans were worshipping the sun god, a new religion was taking hold throughout the empire.
Are you gonna take your ice cream? No, don't take your ice cream.
Christians didn't celebrate the
I'll
birth
save it
of
next time
Christ.
for when you
His
come.
resurrection was the essential fact of the new religion.
About two,
By the
right?
4th century, however, the
That's good.
question of the
You want
holy
two?
birth became
Yeah,
you
impossible
melted
to
away.
ignore.
Yeah.
There were questions within the church about how do we even imagine Jesus. Some people believed that Jesus was purely a spiritual emanation of God, and others believed that Jesus must have actually appeared on earth, and so the decision to celebrate Jesus' birth meant that Jesus was actually a human or a human born.
For Christians, the fact of his birth was settled, but the date remained a mystery. The Bible doesn't mention exactly when Christ was born, but certain facts suggest it probably was not in December.
If we're going to sort through the ruins of the scriptures, Jesus was probably born in the spring. If the shepherds are out in the fields watching their flock by night, we're not talking about one of the cold spells in the heart of winter.
If pagan Rome was already celebrating the birth of Mithra on December 25th, it seemed natural to honor the birth of the Christ child at the same time. The church made it official. December 25th was declared the feast day of the Nativity.
But of course, it's a very short step from the feast day of the risen sun, S-U-N, to the feast day of the risen sun, S-O-N. So, in a sense, it's a very good choice, and the symbolism is there, because the feast day
goodness, fix it up.
was about fertility, about birth. And so, obviously, it's the Christians.
The church knew it could not outlaw the pagan traditions of Christmas, so it set out to adopt them. The evergreens traditionally brought inside were soon decorated with apples, symbolizing the Garden of Eden. These apples would eventually become Christmas ornaments. And holly, a traditional midwinter decoration, was recast to represent Christ's crown of thorns.
People already had their own agenda for this season, and that agenda was not one that was really radically changed when the names got changed from non-Christian to Christian names. The church pretty much had a policy of live and let live. If people would call themselves Christians and be witnesses to the birth of the Savior, then let them do anything they want to do with it. But on the other hand, by assigning the nativity to that time of year, the church really gave up the opportunity to control the way that celebration took place.
The tension between piety and revelry at Christmas would reach its logical and extreme conclusion in Puritan England, when the holiday would be considered so un-Christian it was done away with altogether. By the Middle Ages, Christianity had largely replaced the old pagan religions of Europe. On December 25th, the faithful were called to Gothic cathedrals like Notre Dame and Salisbury Cathedral in England for Christ's Mass, soon to be called Christmas. But out in the streets, the holiday was still more raucous than religious.
England around Christmas time, and I think it was maybe Mardi Gras, maybe New Year's Eve, maybe Halloween, because Christmas in old-time England was really a carnival.
The houses of London were littered with brawling, drunken villagers and couples engaged in the most unholy activities.
Yeah.
And each Christmas, a beggar or student was temporarily put in charge after being crowned the Lord of Misrule. The rest of the peasantry also got their once-a-year chance to grab power from the ruling classes.
They would go around to the houses of the rich, so they would bang on the doors and demand entry, and once they were let in, the lord of the manor had to give them the best stuff that he had. He had to give them his best food, he had to give them his best beer, his best of everything.
Even a woman? That's the best guy in your house.
If he didn't, they would threaten or actually perform a trick. One surviving Christmas song says, if you don't give us what we want, then down will come butler, bowl, and all. Some historians think that performed the role of a safety valve. You might say that a wealthy man could make up for an entire year of small or large injustices to the poor by giving a generous Christmas handout just once a year.
The rules of Christmas would soon change, however, as a wave of religious reform swept through England in the early 17th century. Led by Oliver Cromwell, the Puritans overthrew the king's forces in 1645 and vowed to rid England of all that was decadent. High on their list was English Christmas, and in 1652 they outlawed it altogether. Shops were ordered to stay open. Churches were forced to stay closed.
The Puritans were always, I think, deeply attracted to those things that they were most opposed to. They had a fear that they might have too good of a time. I don't mean to trivialize them, but there was a deep fear that if these things were legalized, they themselves might enjoy them and their souls would be lost.
The Puritans may have said good riddance to Christmas, but the people never really stopped celebrating it. The holiday merely went underground. If Christmas pie was illegal, it began to be known as mince pie instead, which was just as delicious.
The deeper need for Christmas in the human heart, the need for celebration at a time of darkness, those needs made the battle against Christmas, it gave it a few temporary wins, but couldn't possibly secure a final victory.
In 1656, the men of Kent and Canterbury passed a resolution saying that if they could not have their Christmas Day, they would have the king back on his throne. They soon got their wish. The monarchy was restored with Charles II, and Christmas was restored with him. It seemed the English could live without a king, but not without Christmas.
It has been argued that one reason for the restoration of the monarchy is to restore the proper English Christmas with its rituals, its traditions, and its reality. Christmas is brought back, if you like, by popular acclaim.
Christmas may have been lost.
What is this?
But the Puritans had high hopes for the new colonies in America. In 1620, a small group of separatists came ashore at Plymouth, Massachusetts. Even more orthodox than their English cousins, these men and women hoped to rid themselves once and for all of the Christmas scourge. In 1659, Puritans in Boston followed their English brethren in outlawing Christmas. Anyone caught exhibiting the Christmas spirit was fined 5 shillings. Like in England, however, Christmas remained impossible to contain. The 1719 Boston Almanac doesn't list a Christmas holiday, but it does recommend that in late December you not let your children and servants run too much abroad at night.
Not money.
From almost the beginning, some people practiced Christmas, and that when they did so, it was in fact an opportunity to get drunk. And
sounds like that.
Is the finding of historic demographers that there was actually a bulge in conceptions, the conception of children, that took place during Christmas.
Not all the colonies had such trouble with Christmas. Captain John Smith, leader of the Jamestown settlement in Virginia, wrote that their first New World Christmas was kept with plenty of good oysters, wild fowl, and good wine. Jamestown settlers were also the first to drink eggnog as a Christmas drink. The nog coming from the word grog, which means any drink made with rum. After independence, however, all things English fell out of favor in America, Christmas included. In fact, on December 25th, 1789, the United States Congress sat in session and continued to stay open on Christmas Day for most of the next 67 years.
At the same time, there are people who are writing in their diaries that, isn't it too bad you don't have any holidays? So after the revolution, here is an entire nation that works hard, has forsaken many holidays, has given up many holidays because they were holidays that were mandated by the Crown, and it is time to start thinking about how to populate the calendar.
As the 19th century dawned, Christmas would be one holiday that would pull the new nation together. But it wouldn't be the carnival Christmas of old England, nor would it be particularly religious. America would invent its very own Christmas, and in the process, reinvent it for the whole world. New York City, 1820. Within the space of a generation, New York had gone from a backwater port town to the center of American commerce.
Don't slide up, it's Christmas. What does that mean?
Don't slide up, it's Christmas.
Don't slide up. You heathen.
What the hell? Am I wired right now? What is the camera? He might. He might have blocked you.
Yeah,
If you can't send it. Yep, he blocked you. Stupid.
Alright. That's how it is.
You can just delete the chat.
I can do it here, so right. How's that?
You can text Adriana.
Uh-huh.
You can text Adriana.
Alright.
EP.
They say the Christians in the Bible they block you.
Huh? Heathens.
Heathens. That's all they are. Heathens. A what? I'm Christian. The Bible is my guide. And the Lord is my shepherd. The Bible block you. But hey, what you expect?
Oh.
Done with the story?
No, because he looks sexy to you.
Yeah, we'll have to compare.
Great wealth came to a few during these years, and moderate livings to the burgeoning class.
said, okay, I don't know if I can do that today. I'm slammed. They're in Taunton, Mass right now.
In Taunton?
Yeah. She has to go back to her dad's house. Felix won't answer.
You said he's tired and stuff. I can just go tomorrow.
You want to go tomorrow?
I can do that.
You want to say, could you do it tomorrow?
Yeah, I told him I can. There's no way they can. I just go tomorrow. Oh.
Are you going to call your boss?
Yeah, I'll tell him tomorrow.
She has work tomorrow. What time do you need to get back?
You said that? Who said that?
Adriana.
Tell her what time she can. No, another
It
time?
would have to be sometime later in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that is. Still up this Christmas, he said. I just said I'll still up this survival. Yeah, this planet is lost. Don't you agree? Don't you agree, Kitty?
Huh?
This planet is lost.
Yeah.
No point. What time your practice today? Oh.
Do you know what I found out?
Wow.
Not to be a heathen.
Not to be a heathen. No. As long as you're not lost, I'm fine.
Huh?
As long as you're not lost, I'm fine, whatever. I don't care what people do.
Okay, back to the history of Christmas.
Created a class of the unemployed and unconnected, whose very existence threatened the cozy world of New York's middle rung. This was never more clear than at Christmas time.
The earliest stages of industrial capitalism. And so, what had previously just had an edge of menace, a little bit of trick, but much more goodwill, much more treat, now changed, and the menace became increasingly obvious and increasingly serious. So that by the 1820s, the Christmas season in cities like New York was really a time of gang rioting, a really very, very nasty scene. So nasty, in fact, that in the year 1828, the New York City
David, where'd you put the food?
as a direct particularly savage Christmas season riot the year before.
Inside there.
New York's upper class was worried. So worried that a few of them set out to change the way the
I was too
holiday was
close.
celebrated. Washington Irving was America's best-selling novelist. In 1819, he used his expertise to write Bracebridge Hall, an enormously popular series of stories about Christmas at an imaginary English manor house. Here,
Damn,
the
look at that
classes
heel.
mingled effortlessly as
Look at it.
squires welcomed friendly
I
and
was here
grateful
since I was here.
peasants into their
I know.
homes. And in 1843, England's most popular writer, Charles Dickens' Traded News, published this engraving of the royal family,
Wow.
standing by the first Christmas tree I've ever seen. In just a few years, a decorated fir could be found in nearly every English home at Christmas.
With in a few years,
I want to spend time.
You have 4 days.
It's customary.
4.5.
About to be, yeah, exactly. You have to learn how to light fire, you know.
Huh?
Americans
Hip fire.
embraced the Christmas tree just as quickly as the English had. In fact, its connection to the old world was one of its strongest selling points.
Yeah, put that on your Wi-Fi. So this one's not working. Change it, put it on the other one. I want to keep squeezing, I need that. So take,
Well, maybe because you have so many messages.
really? I delete them all.
You're mad apps open too.
Delete them all.
What were you watching? This live? Right here? Were you watching your live?
Yeah. It's here.
Wait, this isn't you, right?
No. What is that? Let me see. Oh, that's Black Ops. That's not me. There you go, hip fire. There you go.
Oh, it's your buddy Shane.
Who's Shane?
Shane Doherty. Remember him? He said, just stop to say Merry Christmas. Hope you have a good one.
Hold on, let me see. How do you get this channel?
What do you mean?
Let me see him again.
It's on yours.
Shane, yeah, thanks. Well, I don't celebrate that to begin with. And whoa.
You find it heathenish.
What's going on here? But yeah, man, enjoy. Oh,
The most convenient reason.
enjoy yourself.
This is the way it's done in Germany. This is the way
Eat
it's
food and take the presents. Hey.
All of a sudden, Christmas traditions were popping up everywhere.
No.
In 1828, Joel R. Poinsett, America's minister to Mexico, brought back a green and red plant that seemed perfect for the new holiday. In 1843, the English firm of J.C. Horsley printed the first Christmas card. A newly efficient postal service in England and America helped to make Christmas cards an overnight sensation. It seemed as though every vestige of the old Bacchanalian Christmas was gone. But even the Victorians couldn't clean up Christmas completely.
Victorians were particularly
The Victorian age is when it started to get more popular.
man that Norman and the noble president would not be allowed to do. So in a society which was very strict, one vestige of that licentious Christmas from earlier times, this spirit of new Victorian Christmas gathering was without it.
Christmas was everywhere in America, in the streets, in the homes, in the marketplace. The one place you could not go was church. Most Americans were Protestant, and the Protestant church had ignored Christmas for years. But Protestants their official religion on this sacred day.
When a number of them initially said, well, we can't find a Christmas service at our Baptist church or our Presbyterian church. Let's go see what the Catholics are doing, or let's go see what the Episcopalians are doing. And increasingly that puts pressure on these latter-day Puritans to have Christmas services, because there's a way in which lay people begin to expect it.
Church services, mistletoe, and Christmas trees. America's new holiday now
see there.
seems firmly in place. But Victorian America had one last contribution to the Christmas season. A jolly elf who shimmied down the chimney would soon personify Christmas for generations to come. Christmas tree from Germany and the card from England. One Christmas island is the America.
You gotta look at it. I know when to look to it. You gotta look. How you know? How you know?
I'm a Latina, I don't look.
However, there was St. Nicholas, a Greek Orthodox bishop who became one of the most popular saints of the Middle Ages. On December 6th, St. Nicholas Day, good children woke to gifts from the kindly saint. Bad children sulked away.
This Shane guy's a good guy. Just come and say hi and goes.
In Holland, he was known as Sinterklaas. And when the Dutch came to this country, they brought tales of their gift-giving Nicholas with them. This quaint custom caught the imagination of Clement Clark Moore, a well-heeled Episcopal minister in New York City. In 1822, Moore wrote a poem for his children about a good-natured saint who came down the chimney on Christmas Eve.
Pentecost, with the cardigan and all that nonsense.
I don't know what that is.
And all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with fear.
No, the Grinch has stole Christmas because he hates all you heathens.
Along with Santa's entrance through the chimney. But at first he was embarrassed by the poem. He worried it was too frivolous for a man of the church.
Well, Moore was a minister. You're a minister who should be on the other side.
Where is he?
Promoting a secular Christmas.
Where is he?
And all the rest of it. But there was no mention.
Wow, this thing's so dark.
And that's why he didn't reveal who he was. In the beginning, he didn't reveal the authorship.
Moore soon owned up to the poem when it became clear that every child in America was scanning the horizon for reindeer on Christmas Eve.
Oh, it's TV again.
Less clear was what exactly this Santa Claus looked like. At first, Santa came in all shapes and sizes. A pagan sorcerer, a frightening gnome, even a drunkard on a turkey sleigh. Then, in 1863, and jollier than his austere Catholic cousin, he looked, in fact, like a man of his times, a man who would fit right in with the rotund, bewhiskered robber barons of the late 19th century. But Santa was a robber baron in reverse.
Instead of taking from the less fortunate, he gave to the less fortunate. He gave to people regardless of whether they'd done something or not. In other words, he gave to children. Instead of gathering together wealth, he gets rid of wealth, and he does it yearly.
A captain of industry with a heart of gold. It's no wonder that by the 1840s, Santa Claus was an irresistible image to America's retailers. Here was a guy who could sell anything at Christmas, but make it seem like you were in the 1940s. Santa Claus was an irresistible image to America's retailers.
It reminded me of where you lived.
So.
Because it says... Never mind.
What?
He was a...
No, I thought it was like the numbers.
What numbers?
The numbers where you live.
What the number says there?
765. But it's like reversed around.
That's
You
not
could
what I
sell
live.
anything at
Huh?
Christmas, but
That's
make
not
it
my-
seem
that's not
like
my
you
number.
were not buying
I know, but I
gifts
thought
at
it was
all.
765.
Santa Claus provided a way for both children and
I
parents
thought wrong.
to pretend that Christmas presents were not in the realm of the commercial marketplace, that Christmas presents existed in the realm of pure domestic affection. So Santa Claus played a very important role for both parents and children. He took presents out of the realm of
I'm using it. I didn't see my face neither.
If the image of Santa could sell merchandise, retailers soon figured that a real-life Santa would boost sales even further. Santa has been showing up in department stores since the mid-1800s. And since then, nothing has loomed larger to a child at Christmas than this annual pilgrimage.
You want to talk to Santa Claus, where do you go? You go to the shopping mall. Now this is strange for a saint to be living pretty much full time in a department store. It doesn't bother Americans because we are, after all, a capitalistic society. It makes perfect sense for us to have our national saint in a department store. That's commercial sense for us, dollars and cents.
Author and humorist Gene Shepard immortalized this rite of passage in A Christmas Story, an autobiographical account of one boy's Christmas.
You know, I've been thinking for weeks what I wanted for Christmas. I figured the best thing
I
to
got
do
paid
was
time and a
Santa
half
Claus.
today if I work.
And I looked up at
Whoa. What you said?
I got paid time and a half if I work today.
And he was so impressive that my mind went blank. Then what's your name, little boy? It's like sitting on the president's lap. And he said, what would you like me to pass? It wasn't funny. I mean, you're fine sitting on the lap. You can't remember this. And so at that point, Santa Claus looked at me and he says, all right.
Oh, that's the guy that played the thing?
Kid. I'm just going to go blank. You can't remember this stuff. And so at that point, Santa Claus looked at me and he said, all right. How about a football, kid? How about a nice football? Football? I wanted a BB gun. So he pushed me off his
wanted
lap.
a BB gun.
And this elf grabbed me and threw me down slide and went down into the snow. And I laid there for a minute, and I knew that I was not a fit person to talk to the great. Santa Claus was obviously a star.
A celebrity of this magnitude obviously needed a sidekick. In 1939, Robert May, a copywriter at the Montgomery Ward department store, dashed off a promotional children's book to lure Christmas shoppers into the store. May's story told of an ostracized reindeer
Your phone almost
with a
landed on my
big red
face.
nose.
Poor Rudolph. Where most reindeers' noses are brownish and tiny, Rudolph's was red, very large, and quite shiny.
This physical, shall I say, disability turns out to be an asset because it's a foggy Christmas Eve.
This fog will be hard to get through.
And this light on the nose enables poor old stumbling Santa Claus to get through.
And the jolly elves with glee. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. You'll go down in history.
So you have this handicapped sort of child figure helping the benighted parental figure make Christmas possible.
Rudolph brought Christmas full circle. It was now the children who really made Christmas possible. Only they understood the meaning of this enchanted day. From Washington Irving to Montgomery Ward, a battle for Christmas had been fought and won by kids.
Should have
Stay in your plane, man.
Few vestiges of the carnival Christmas were left in America. One exception was this Christmas parade in New York City, where a glimpse of Santa Claus was worth the all-day wait. But by the 1950s, Christmas was strictly a family affair, with eggnog by the fire, Bing on the hi-fi, and a load of presents under the tree.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight.
The joy of opening up gifts is one of the things that makes Christmas what it is.
He's loaded lots of
Oh, that was it?
It's the mystery of all these packages. And I think that's why we wrap them. It's exciting to have a package lying there with silver paper on it. You don't know what's in it. And you open it up, and there it is. It's something that's really great, that you really wanted.
But to give presents, you have to shop for them. And shopping has long been at the heart of the Christmas season. Critics say this yearly buying frenzy obscures the real reason for Christmas, to celebrate the birth of the Christ child.
Celebrate the birth of Christ and the gift that God gave us, as much as the gifts we give our children on Christmas Day. And she wants all the toys, right?
Damn
I
it.
think a lot of it is more commercialized than when I was younger. I remember going to church and having family dinners being more of an important aspect of it.
Thank you.
The children don't grow up realizing what the real meaning is.
People say that Christ has been lost in Christmas. Implicit in that is the idea that Christ had ever been totally the center of Christmas. And as Christmas has been celebrated ever since it was introduced to the Nativity, there has always been other ritual, other
That was behind me this whole time.
associated with Christmas.
Not a fish. We don't celebrate Christmas. You see, we play Fortnite.
All Saints Church in New York City, Christmas Eve services give the secular side of the holiday some stiff competition.
At All Souls, in Carol, we bring in choir and orchestra. We do great music for the Christmas tradition.
Good job, sweetie.
You're welcome. Yeah, man. If you want to give me gifts, I'll take it.
Such as,
Just joking.
such as a new car. No, I'm just kidding.
New car?
That's not a bad thing. It actually goes
That would
back
be
to the
helpful right
sources
now.
of this kind of
A shield, that's what I
holiday,
need.
where we
A shield on a
recognize
land.
people have
Yeah.
needs
That's what I need.
at this time of year to connect with that, which is very important, but also
Good
to
Fortnite
celebrate.
gift. Where's my axe?
I think it's 50-60% of the population going to one kind of Christmas religious service or another. So clearly, a lot of people haven't lost sight of the religious meaning. But what seems to be the concern here is that there's a struggle, a competition over what the real meaning is, and a sense that
That'll make
business
sense.
is not competing effectively with all these intelligence.
But perhaps Christmas in America is more a combination of the sacred and the secular, and less a competition between the two.
I think that if people had Christmas with just Christ in it, it would not be a holiday that...
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
that becomes cultural material that holds the religion in place.
This cultural material is everywhere. Certain songs and movies have become as much a part of Christmas as the tree.
Well done. Now I understand. What the heck? Sorry. Excuse me. Dad puts a woman in a chokehold to defend his daughter.
What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, my aim was off. Aim was way off. What's going on? They're fighting?
Dad puts woman in chokehold to defend his daughter in a fight.
I don't give a damn. For what reason? Somebody being stupid, you put them in chokehold. He's old man too.
Hold on to your finger rings.
Look at that, broke his back there. Yeah, those women's out of control, man. Look at the old man. No one is helping. That is why I don't like black woman. Right there. Look at that. They look for a fight like. You better be back.
They look for fights like easily.
Nobody wants them around. Until they start like.
Forklift causes whole warehouse to collapse. What?
What?
Forklift causes the whole warehouse to collapse.
Forklift. Oh, Marvin Company today. Mad people. There's no oh, the shotgun behind me. Must have shot. Let off this guy.
Hey, baby.
Oh, that's your phone?
This is my phone.
Oh.
Oh.
it's the $6 million man. Remember how happy you were getting me as a kid? Feel that way again with the hunt.
All right, everybody, what is up? Welcome back. It's Thunder, and Merry Christmas to all of you people out there. Hope you guys got everything you wanted for Christmas. Hope you guys get lobbies loaded with Christmas noobs. Even though with the matchmaking, you probably will get lobbies loaded with Christmas noobs. And they won't be on your team, man.
No, dude.
Happy backpack. Hope Santa Claus brought you guys lots of backpacks for Christmas, man. Oh my God. Anyway, fellas, I'm going to show you guys a little class setup I've got here. My gift from me to you. I'm really hoping this shit don't get nerfed after this video. But my God, dude, I stumbled upon something thanks to you guys for the tip. You guys been telling me about the operator mod for the Cordite for quite some time now. And to be honest, I didn't even know. Yeah, look at this. Whenever you're playing Black Ops 4, man, make sure you turn around often.
No!
Make sure you turn around often. Damn, I'm slaying these dudes so hard my guns are overheated. Look at this. Dude ran right behind me. Yeah. Yo, the Cordite operator mod is insane. And to be honest, I didn't even know how to equip this thing. I went into the attachments for the Cordite, and I was looking everywhere. I'm like, where's the operator mod at? All I see is attachments. Long barrel, rapid fire, grip, FMJ.
Whoa.
I'm like, where's the operator mod at? Well, you have to actually
somebody
click on the operator mod wildcard to get the operator mod slot to even open up. So, yeah, really poorly done, I think, poorly designed, but I finally found it, man. It took me a couple months, but my old ass finally found the operator mod. This dude, Curtis, knows all about it. Look at this dude. Curtis, damn, this guy's like my clothes. Look at this guy running the stim shot, too. Little Demi Lovato Pro. Oh, come on. This class setup is too dirty, fellas. Let's get into the video. Alright, everybody. Here's the class setup. Bow! Right up on the screen. There it is. Cordite operator mod with SS1, 2.
Woo!
Mac mask, some gun-ho, some ninja.
Fuck you hating the burst, man.
Of course, the Demi Lovato Pro. That's all you need, man. That's all you need. This is a class setup now. For attachments, you can really use any attachments with this gun. The key is the operator mod. Belt-fed operator mod. I just like using FMJ 1 and 2. I know a lot of people love to run long barrel and rapid fire, and that will give you, I guess that'll give you maximized killing potential. But I just like the FMJ 1 and 2 because there's lots of body armor dudes out here. FMJ will shred body armor. And if anybody's trying to do the FMJ 2 will just melt the shield instantly. And melt score streaks instantly too. I don't have enough points. The operator mod eats up 2 points. Now you guys might be like, damn.
This guy, woof. No way.
Is it worth it? Hell yes, it's worth it, especially in this game. Oh, where'd you come from, son? Damn, dude. In this game, fellas, when you get into a gunfight, what happens? You get wounded, and usually you need to reload because it takes like 40 bullets to kill somebody in this game. Unless you're a sniper. Of course, and snipers still need 1 bullet. Let's make a game with 150 health where everybody needs to hit a shitload of bullets to kill, except for snipers. Yeah, it makes perfect sense, Vaughn. Let's do it. Yeah, let's go. I still don't understand that, man. I just don't get it. But you need to reload and you need to heal after every gunfight, and that puts you at a massive disadvantage to get into more gunfights, because as we know in this game, you get jumped by the whole family constantly. You hardly ever get in one-on-one situations. It's always like 1-on-2, then you turn around, and then there's 3 more of them right behind you, and while you're healing and reloading, they're just sitting there duking on you, and it's really frustrating. But with the Cordite operator mod, man, it's belt-fed. You never have to reload. The only thing this weapon does, I think it overheats once you spray about, I don't know, I think 80 rounds. I'm not sure, it might be off on that, but about 80 rounds. So, son, if you blow through 80 rounds, you should be able to lay the whole damn team down. And hopefully your gun is done cooling off by the time they spawn behind you and come rush you again. Hopefully. But as you see in this video, man, this is probably one of my best gameplays on this entire channel. And I'm running the drone squad, guys. I like the drone squad, especially when you're playing aggressive. The drone squad goes absolutely ham on certain maps like Nuketown or like Summit. You guys saw my last gameplay at the drone squad on Summit. It was getting lots of feeds. Drone squad's pretty good unless Zero hacks it, because this is one of the streaks that can be hacked and used against you. And yeah, I know a lot of you guys still want Zero removed from the game. I don't know if that'll ever happen. But I definitely, as much fun as I had with Zero for the first week, I think the game is better off without her, to be honest. I mean, if you don't like streaks, yo, we got launchers in here. We got FMJ2 in here. We don't need Zero in here further messing with score streaks, man. Treyarch is like, oh, you want devastating score streaks? Okay, we'll give you devastating score streaks, and then we'll give you like 50 ways to take them all out. We'll give the noobs a whole bunch of ways to destroy them all. FMJ2, specialist abilities, launchers, yeah. We'll give you the devastating score streak, no problem. They all get wiped down in the blink of an eye, though. Ah, psych! Anyway, with the belt-fed Cordite operator mods, you never have to reload, and with the stim shot, you heal quickly. You just constantly keep getting into gunfights. You never have to reload ever, and you can really psych a lot of people out, man, because you'll spray a whole shitload of bullets, and then thinking that you're gonna reload, you'll be like, nope, I still got some right here. You just keep spraying. You really catch people off guard with the operator mods, and again, baby. Thanks to the Crash specialist, my homie Crash, the best specialist in the game, fellas. Crash, you get Scavenger, you get Hardline Pro, you score streaks quicker, and you get Juggernaut, man, with the help boost. Yo, the best specialist in the game. I told you guys I might do my top 11 specialists in this game. You already know number one from Crash. I mean, easily the best specialist in the game. Hey, coming in dead last, it's going to be Dwarf right now. Dwarf is going to be the weakest specialist in the game right now, thanks to Zero. Zero flip Dwarf nuts. Oh my god! But yo, I honestly hope this class setup don't get nerfed, fellas. You want to run Crash with Stim Shot. 1 and 2 for this video. You also run it with Rapid Fire and Long Barrel. You can run it with anything. You cannot go wrong with the Fortine operator mod. As long as you have the mod. No matter what other happens, you get the mod, you're going to be all set.
Fans of the comic are really excited. I think it's very faithful. People are going to fall right into
those characters come to life.
Operator mods are a new attachment that Treyarch added. And like I said, they take up 2 attachment spaces, well, at least the belt-fed one does. I don't know if there's any operator mods, but I don't know. I haven't really used too many of the operator mods. I've just used the belt-fed on the Cordite. Like I said, I just figured out how to attach the operator mods. Damn,
Get
man,
up.
look at Base Pajamas up in the blue copter, son. Ooh, Base Pajamas. Oh my goodness, another head. Oh, damn. We got Granddad. Ooh, triple. We got Granddad up there in the blue copter too, cryogenically frozen, R98. We got Grizz, Face Pajamas. Oh my god, I love the blue copter, baby. Best score streak ever. Ah, too late. Zero's trying to hack my shit too late, it's already gone. Damn, trying to spray Zero through the cabin there with the FMJ2. Trying to test the FMJ2 a little bit. They're good. That's the best time to get hacked after your streaks go away. But Treyarch, listen, man. Oh my god, look at this shit, man. Take specialists out of the game. Except for Crash. Don't go messing with Crash. I was on like a nuke streak right there until that dude nuked to me, man. That's all specialists are, man. Specialists are a cheap way for scrubs to get kills, man. I hope MW4 don't have specialist abilities, man. Take that shit out of the game, dude. Some specialist abilities are great, like Crash. Crash specialist abilities are awesome, man. I like specialist abilities like Crash and non-lethal specialist abilities. Lethal specialist abilities. Just cheap ways to get kills, man. Look at that, son. 47 kills I got this game, fellas. Going in with the Fortine operator mod. Treyarch, don't go nerfing this shit now, man. Because y'all nerf everything I love in Call of Duty. I wish I started using this class sooner, man. Honestly, it'll probably get nerfed after this video, though, because Treyarch loves to screw with me. Look at this, man. Look, you never have to reload. Never reload again. Just focus on healing with the stim shot, fellas. Greatest. This might be the greatest class I've ever used in Call of Duty, period, man. I just love it. The Fortnite kind of got that PDW swag for Black Ops 2, and not having to reload is a huge advantage in this game. And all you gotta do is just focus on healing, and with the stim shot, you heal super quick. Now, usually Treyarch removes everything I love in Call of Duty. That thing straight took out the VSAT and C4 sandwiches. Don't go messing with the Fortnite operator.
Yeah, well, my dad.
Hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay commentary, man. I hope you guys use this class setup. This next Christmas news. This year, something the Christmas news. Who do you know about this class setup, man? The Christmas news don't know how to equip operator mods. They probably don't even know how to put attachments on their weapon yet. So take his hand and travel off that, drop that nuke, and drop them sick gameplays. And if you enjoy this class setup, enjoy this video, please don't forget to like and share and all that good shit. Hope you guys have a happy and Merry Christmas. Let me know what you guys got from Santa Claus down in the comment section. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Hope you have a great day with your family and friends. And I will see you on the next one. Peace. Are you Nasheed tells and said it means ashy. No light-skinned person has ever in history of Earth been called crispy. So we know that's a lie. But number two, there's a lot of girls who will tell you right now, it doesn't matter your size, it doesn't matter how you look. Dudes are going to immediately say you're pretty. And then you watch these people in your conversation. Watch how often they call you pretty versus how many times they call me. Watch how many times they accept your loudness over her loudness. She's not even loud. Like, she's not loud like that. But they still say she's loud all the time. Right, that's what I'm saying. So she's actually not loud. You are, but I'm saying you're doing it though. Like me, I'm loud. I get it. Like, this is probably the most tame people have seen me. Just a little bit of that weed wearing off. And it is what it is. But what I'm saying is, she gets called stuff that she doesn't deserve. And they'll forgive it because just like in the movie, and I know this question is wrong, and I don't think it's wrong. I'm trying to make sure you understand that you do see that there's an element of colorism going on amongst black people. Can you at least admit this too?
Oh, definitely. But I want to know that. I want you to know that colorism goes all the way from the dark to the light spectrum, and I'll explain. But let me first go back and say the first part when you were talking about, them saying that your daughters or whatever they act white or whatever. Like I do think that there are a lot of black people who will say you're talking white or you're acting white in a certain manner, which to me is ridiculous, and it's a part of this subconscious conditioning to think that to talk educated means to talk white, and to talk non-educated means to talk black. Like, there's no such thing as talking white or talking black. And it seems to me that the comments that are being made is projection that only white people do well and live in big households and, have no comfortability with their finances. And that just the mindset of so many of our people thinking that this is what it is for black people and that we don't speak educated or we don't live better lives because that's just something for white people. So
you made a comment last night, and hopefully you can clear that up before we got off. And it's on the thing, so I'll just give you an opportunity to clear that up. I think you know what comment I'm talking about, right?
About the felony?
Yeah, when you said black folks should be relating more to me because I've been too jammed.
Okay.
And I was like,
let me answer the colorism, and then we can go into that.
Go ahead. I'll do both. Go ahead.
So as far as the colorism, right? You're right. I'm never going to know, or any, not even just biracial. Let's be honest. There are light-skinned black people who are not biracial, and they don't even know what it feels like for somebody to talk about them being dark, or talk about their dark skin, right? So on the other end, though, you do have this spectrum of colorism that goes all the way down to even for me being a biracial person, because what I get a lot, right? This is what I get in that colorism, okay? White people tell me, bitch, you ain't one of us, right? You a nigga. And then the black people tell me, you're not black. So see, you deal with people telling you, that you're dark and all of these things, but as a biracial person, I get told, bitch, you can't rock with us, and bitch, you can't rock with us over here either. So you don't belong to neither one of us. So see, I get flack from black people all the time for not being all the way black, and that's what I get when it comes to colorism. You will never know what that feels like either for black people to constantly tell you you're not black, even though the society is always telling you you are, and they're treating you that way. See, as a woman that is biracial, by law, I don't even have the right to, on a paper where you check your race, I cannot check one. Okay, that would be a fraud. That would be just a law. But I can check that I'm black, and they're fine with that. So I'm not even allowed in this country to claim the white hat that I am by this country's standards.
So don't you think that's a problem, though? Don't you think that's a problem? See, that's what I try to teach black women. Soledad O'Brien said at first she hated what I said. Then she turned around and started sharing my video. She said, he's right. Soledad O'Brien has a white dad and a black mom. Big on CNN. Soledad O'Brien. She's the top. Yeah, Soledad. She's on the top.
I don't watch the video.
Yeah, well, she's mixed, though. And she said she hated my video when I said mixed people ain't black. Because she thought I was going off on mixed people. And then she said she sat down and listened to it. And she said it makes sense. Because I said, one of the first things I said is, you say yellow. You have yellow or blue at the end of it. And then no, you have green. You have a different thing. When you look at this whole idea of colorism, the white man was the one who was mixing his blood with everybody else. And then we tell everybody else, it's yours. He was doing that on purpose. It's a part of colonialism, or it's a part of politics. It's a part of what they do, which is use the hell out of people. And the one way you do it is make them have a disdain for each other by having these variances of color, but they're all black. Or they're all whatever it is. So it's one of the main things that they do. And then on the second one, notice they never do it to themselves. Meaning, if it's a drop of somebody else in them, they exclude it. Normal, that makes sense. When black folks are accepted, because what I said in my video, mixed people and biracial people should have their own category. They shouldn't be allowed to just fit in one. They can't fit in the other. You have someone like Meghan Markle, who doesn't have any black phenotypes about her structure, her face. When you have somebody like Rashida Jones, who most people didn't even know that was Quincy Jones' daughter, they all accepted her as white. Why is it that whenever she wants to play the black card, she still gets to jump into it? When you have somebody like the woman who was married recently for Amber Rose, who said that her parents got mad because she married a black guy. So that lets you know she doesn't think she's black, which is fine. But why is it that one day she can just wake up and decide, I'm a pro-black? And we accept her. I don't think that's right, because you would never see a mixed person be the leader of a clan. That's where my biggest issue is. I don't have a problem with mixed people. Have them in my family. We're a bunch of mixed nuts. But I do know the difference between them saying, somebody telling a mixed child, you don't belong with us, you ain't black. And somebody else saying, you don't belong with us, you ain't white. I got black folks saying I ain't Panamanian because I'm too dark. Stupid shit. But it's fine. It's fine, whatever makes them happy. For them to say he changed his name to a white name, Sotomayor, when the last name Harris is English. It's the stupidest shit, but black people don't give a shit. I'm supposed to be able to stay Harris, but not be Sotomayor, my father's name. That's okay. I should just stay Harris. Got it. So, at the end of the day, you have to understand, if you took on Sotomayor, nobody would ever question you. Nobody would have said you're trying to be white, you're trying to be anything. They will accept what you are. You don't fit there.
Sorry, man.
But you don't have the people telling you you're ugly. You're ugly because of skin color. They don't say that. They just say you're not white or you're not black. See, I'm black and have other black folks, just like other black people like me, would have people saying that to them.
They're ugly because they're like Tyreek Nasheed. He has the shirt with the melanoid nation, and he said melanin is magical and all that bullshit he was saying. But he had no problem with making an entire crispy series about my skin color because I'm black, because I'm dark. And you gotta think, there's a group of black people who accept this train of thought. So they're exiting out 70% of the blacks in America, because they're both 70% of them are my color, not yours, not mixed. I'd say it's probably a higher number than that. But they're exiting them out, and then you're like me, if you watch, black people eating black people. A normal group of people wouldn't think that was a good idea because they have too many ties to the other side that you don't like. Like normal people, even Farrakhan has said something about this. That it's common sense, yet we're not echoing it right now. Everybody loved Jesse, whatever his name was, Jesse Williams. And all he did was get a white girlfriend. And them same black chicks who loved him turned on him for getting a white girlfriend to the point of where the white girl had to leave him. Now, it makes no sense because he's white. So why is he not supposed to find white women attractive? Because he's white. And how is it that these women can call a man a traitor simply because of his name? I'm just curious of how can you or others see that when you invite direct biracial people, it will cloud your movement.
I disagree with that. Because the things that you are saying as far as, being color and different things, it can make it seem like I have a direct connection to the other side. Like, I don't know what white folks you want me to call up, like, I don't have...
No, I'm saying you have a direct connection, meaning like your father. You remember, you said your father was.
Right. It connects to what, though? Like, my father is dead. My father, when he was alive, I mean, what connection does he have when we talk about this fight, right? And the truth of the matter is that whether, black people want to accept biracial people or say that they're not black, the bottom line is that in this fight, right, we all have the same enemy because they feel black way. So instead of us being so divided, I don't understand why we're not focused on the fact that we have the same enemy. Now, there are some facts of what you say is that, biracial people are not all black. So you say we don't want to accept them as black people. And then you say because you don't accept them, but that's not the way stuff works in this country, the reality of it. The reality is that we are treated like niggas just like everybody else. Okay?
But aren't we trying to fight against the reality, though? Like, isn't that part of what you're doing? Like, if I told you the reality is white people lead, so shut up and let them lead, you would be trying to fight against that, right? That's what you guys are trying to do, right?
Well, right, but I'm saying at the end of the day, though, I don't understand why when I get up, and let me say, you brought up Amber Rose saying all of a sudden one day, I all of a sudden wake up and be anything. I've always been this person.
Oh, no, I'm not saying you can. I'm saying you have that ability to do it when you can go from being like Amber Rose and being, because a lot of mixed in America, as a matter of fact, the mixed culture people own a higher percentage, which is not fair because there were very few of them, but a higher percentage of mixed people in the United States own slaves over white people. And that's a misleading number because there was way fewer mixed people than it was. But just saying, they were actually able to own slaves too, and did.
But there were black people that owned slaves, so Native Americans as well. But I'm saying the reality of what we look at in this country right now, what I'm saying is that black people can throw us under the bus and say you're not one of us, but the bottom line is in the oppressor's eyes, and this fight that we're fighting, we're actually all treated the same. Now, when you talk about like light skin privilege, or people want to say that other people might say that you're cheap because you're light skinned, I don't see anywhere where light skin privilege has gotten me any benefit in this country when it really matters in my life. Right? The things that are oppressing me is not because of somehow somebody thinks I look or don't look, or because they think I'm cuter than somebody else. So, oh, your skin is pretty, or oh, you think I got good hair.
But that does really matter. Hold on,
wait. That doesn't do anything for me.
But that does really matter. But that does really matter. If it didn't, we wouldn't have a $10 billion industry of just hair, makeup, and other shit, or other men. The way you look and how people actually tell, because most people don't give a crap about things that matter. That's why people get mad at people who matter. When you look at what most people are talking about, let's be honest. The biggest challenge on YouTube are what channels? Hair channels, how they look channels. So when you say it's not gained you anything, you have to understand that there are millions of women who will tell you otherwise, because they don't want to fight the system. They might just want to find a husband.
They want
Well,
to
they
find.
should be fighting the system.
Oh, I know. I was just saying. You remember
all this
perception?
propaganda of telling them that they're natural and beautiful and something is wrong with their beautiful dark melanated skin. Maybe they should be fighting that system, and then those things wouldn't be an issue, because I think we have way bigger fights to fight than over what the hell somebody's hair look like, or worrying about the color of your skin.
No, I agree with you.
Worry about getting first.
No.
And that should be their focus. And that's what I'm saying. Any privilege that somebody thinks that I get as far as compliments or something because of the color of my skin, that shit does not afford me anything that really matters in life for the devastating things and that have come against me that I've had to deal with being a black woman in this country. So for me, I don't give a damn about none of that stuff. You can compliment me all you want. Is that going to bring me my son back and give him a fair sentence? Because I'm half white? Is that going to make my brother not be hung in the cell because he's a nigga?
Well,
So I don't give a fuck about that stuff.
no, I agree. But what I'm trying to say is, you remember, that's why I was going back to where you said what's reality versus what you would like to see. You said, well, reality is this. And I said, I'm glad you said that. Because the reality is, you have an industry where women are all over the place, especially in Africa. They this cannot be called dark, cannot be called smoke, cannot be called a lot of mixed girls who come on the show who are very pro-black. I was able to talk them into a corner. They all admitted this one thing. What happened when you were young? How the black girls treat you? Why did they want to fight you? They think I'm all that. I wasn't doing anything. I was trying my best to be their friend. Then when they get to a fight with me, the first thing they say is, I'm going to cut up that pretty ass thing. So if you're fighting for this group of people who don't even fight for you, that's what you're saying, right? Well, I mean, it's the same as I'm black. I was like, yeah, but you keep on telling me how they treated you different. The same black people that you're fighting for now, but they treat you different. And if they did it, then that means they have, like what happened with me. My cousin Linwood was always handsome, never had to do anything. Linwood was serving a life sentence. Wow. So when I was little, Linwood got all the hoes, got all the praise, punch and shit, wanted to rub their hand through his hair. He's got such good hair. And in the same process, they talk shit about their good black food. Their heads, that's why I have such empathy for dark-skinned black women. Because I've watched their own mothers sit up there and tell them, with your nappy ass hat, sit down. And I'm like, watch this light-skinned kid get treated way better than you. This next kid get treated way better than you. So when you get on the playground, what you want to do? You want to fuck him up. He didn't do anything. It's just, you know you can't beat your parents' ass. You know you can't beat society's ass. So you turn it on this person who you think is the object of their society. And the truth is, the reason that darker black people feel this way has nothing to do with me, biracial people. It has everything to do with the colonizer and the oppressor in this country, well, actually across this world, that is projecting that onto me. So why is that not appropriate as far as that we have to say, let me also say this too. You know, people keep talking about, like, why is this my fight, or why should I care? I don't care what it is, because we don't say what I need to do. So, what I care about the fact is that I actually have a black mom. So when people are down talking somebody with dark skin and nappy hair, they're offending my mother. So why isn't that? They're offending my two daughters who are darker, way darker than me. They have 4 society tells them it's not appropriate for them. So as a auntie, why would that be my fight? These are my people. These are my daughters that feel the same way themselves in the media and everything that's projected to them. So, I mean, that's part of why this is my fight too. These are my children. This is my mother. These are my family members. It's not like we all just walking around here, you know, fighting. And it's very offensive and hurts that you watch the pain that they go through because it's I would say that, but we're not technically all we have an extra layer of oppression. I think that's what we know. Black white people it's like you expect somebody outside of your family to run, it's hurt. That's what happens to dark
literally said, we're last on every freaking level. Even when it's black folks, we're last on that level. We're the ones who they are going to talk crap about. It's us. We're the ones who they're going to make fun of. It's us. It's going to fall on us. So I do understand what you're saying when you're saying, well, my mom